But mass media and social media have become a monolithic wall that stands between the American people and honest and reliable information about Republicans and the conservative point of view.
TBN's Governor Mike Huckabee, a happy, happy dad at that. Governor, what a week you've had.
It's been an incredible experience. First ever in America where a father and daughter have both occupied a governor's mansion. And first time for a woman governor in Arkansas. And the first time that Arkansas will be governed by a female governor and a female lieutenant governor. That's never happened anywhere in America either. It was a momentous occasion for our family. We're obviously very excited and proud. Sarah won with over 63.5% of the vote, which is just stunning. Wow. And so, you know, she's on her path to certainly be a better governor than me. And some people would say that's not a bar that's all that high. I'd like to think it was a little better than that, but we'll see.
You know, all that said, and congratulations to the entire family. What a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now the stress begins because you're a loving dad, and she's in the arena now, and the arrows are pointing in her direction.
Well, you know, she's asked for this spotlight, and like any of us who ever run for office, if we don't know what we're getting into, we soon will. And she does know what she's getting into, unlike some people who run for office the first time and have no idea just how vicious it can be. She's grown up seeing it at the local, state, and national level. So it's not a surprise to her. I don't fear for her. I think she's more than capable of handling the pressure, and I think she showed that when she was White House press secretary. So some people may think, well, I'm going to sit back and be nervous every day and watch my daughter and you know, weep and wail and curl up in a fetal position. Quite frankly, I won't do that at all. I will watch with a sense of pride and anticipation as she fights hard, stands her ground. She learned how to do that because she had two older brothers who were very mean to her when she was little. Right. And that taught her how to stand up for herself. I have no doubt she'll be fine.
That's a really interesting thing because girls who grow up with big brothers know how to be tough oftentimes. So that's very revealing about Sarah.
Yes.
If you can share with this audience, what advice have you given her?
The main thing I've told her is be the governor of the people who didn't vote for her as much as she is the governor of the people who did vote for her and support her. Pay attention to the people who can do nothing for her. Pay more attention to them because that's really who she's there to serve. And I'll tell her, never forget who the boss is. And the boss is not the person sitting in that corner office that she will occupy with a wonderful view of the Arkansas River and Capitol Avenue. Instead, remember that her boss are the 3.5 million people of the state who have given her this extraordinary privilege, and never forget that it's your job to serve them. It's not their job to serve you.
Mm-hmm. On a more serious note now, I wish there were other states that could count their votes as well as Arkansas does. Specifically now we're looking at Arizona, among others. What is your observation about this? I've said again and again that when you get these kinds of delays, it just does not engender confidence in the democratic system and in legitimate vote counting.
It is very discouraging for a state like Arizona to not be able to count its votes in a reasonable manner and to have all kinds of problems with the machines. I'm not sure if we're watching an Arizona voting machine or if they have gotten their voting machines from the same people who make the ice cream machines at McDonald's that never seem to work. It's very frustrating, and I think as people look at these processes, they say, this is insane. It's an embarrassment, and the people of Arizona ought to demand that this gets fixed and they never have this kind of humiliation again. That's what Florida did after 2000 when there was the disastrous hanging chads and contested election. They got their act together. And I lived in Florida for a few years, voted there during several elections. Florida is the third largest, most populous state in the country. Their elections are so amazingly efficient that within an hour of the polls closing, they're able to announce all the results without any contest or controversy. You never hear about people saying, oh, they cheated in Miami or they cheated in Orlando. There's just no accusations because it's clean, it's efficient, and they get the results out quickly.
Mm-hmm. The long knives from the Monday morning quarterbacks are coming out now after this Republican showing. In all likelihood, they will control the House by a slim margin. The Senate remains very much in doubt. But the expectations were so much higher, reasonably so, because the circumstances in our country are dire and not good under full Democratic leadership. I'm still stunned by how poorly Republicans did.
Doug, I am too, and I have to admit I was as wrong can get when it came to predicting what was going to happen. I really thought we were going to see a red tsunami. We barely had a pink trickle, and the result has been somewhat of a shock, I think, to people on both the Democrat and the Republican side. Democrats thought it was going to be worse. Republicans thought it was going to be better. Nobody really predicted this. But part of the thing I've had to accept is that Republicans are in a tough spot. Most voters get their information, especially younger voters who voted a plus 28 for Democrats in the 18 to 29-year-old group. That's a huge advantage for younger voters. But the problem is they get their information largely from social media and maybe a little bit from mass media. But mass media and social media have become a monolithic wall that stands between the American people and honest and reliable information about Republicans and the conservative point of view. You add to that the bureaucracy that is just determined to fight for the establishment Democrats in power. And I speak of things like the DOJ and the FBI, the one-sided delivery of government handouts and the one-sided delivery of government blistering, as we see when an 87-year-old grandmother is hauled to jail and taken in handcuffs. She was once in a concentration camp, and she protested pro-life. Protested as a pro-life leader. On the other hand, when you have all of that going on, the Republicans and the conservatives really do have a tough time getting their message out to voters beyond their own base who watch the television shows that support or give attention to conservatives or read websites that are fair and somewhat balanced. There's just not many of them there.
And now to one of the elephants in the living room right now, Donald Trump. We saw what he did with DeSantis, calling him dissanctimonious, and then he took an even lower road in the aftermath of that, saying that he knows things about DeSantis that very few people know. They're not flattering. I'm paraphrasing here, but it was uncalled for. You've been the target of those kinds of Donald Trump hits, yet you came back and you still support him, have supported him today. What's his future? It doesn't look bright to me.
Well, if he continues that direction, it won't be bright. He has got to recognize that what leaders do is stand up and take responsibility. They don't point blame. I'm not saying he's responsible for the disastrous results of this week. We had some good moments. But there's no value in him taking on Ron DeSantis or any other Republican. What he needs to do is to rally the Republican people together and say, let's join hands. Let's make this a unified fight for America, not about me, but about the country. And I think he's missed that opportunity this week. And I really hope and pray that he dials back the rhetoric that we've seen over the last couple of days, because it does not help him. It hurts him deeply, but it also hurts the party and hurts the movement to reclaim America and to get this country back on track.
Hi, I'm Doug McKelway, and thank you for watching Centerpoint. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. Leave a comment below and keep the conversation going by sharing this video with a friend who needs to see it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.